me be the first to wish Antonio Bay a happy birthday.
I know I'm human. Some of you are still human.
The night he came home.
Who? Jack Burton. Me.
I don't know this book will drive people crazy. Well, let's hope so. The movie comes out next month.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk. I'm John and this is Matt, and today we're here to talk about one of the channel's favorite directors of all time, John Carpenter. But before we dive into that, if you are a fan of 4K Blu-ray reviews, movie reviews, tech and game reviews, we try to do them all here on the channel, and nothing would help us out more than by you liking this video and subscribing to the channel. So John Carpenter got his start in full-length, feature-length directorial debut in 1974 with Dark Star, which you've never seen, right?
No, I have not.
I've also never seen that, but that's much a like sci-fi stoner comedy, almost a student film. It kind of just got him going, got him set on the right path, but it wasn't really until 1976 when Assault on Precinct 13 came out. Now, what do you think of Assault on Precinct 13? Because I know you have something to say about this.
So this is my Blu-ray, because you don't have this?
No, I do have that.
You do have
I just forgot it at home.
So I saw the remake with Ethan Hawke and Lawrence Fishburne originally, and I love that movie. Now, I said, oh, John Carpenter, he made the original, let's check it out. Upon watching this at a later date, you know, I'm not going to say it's a bad movie, I'm not going to say I hated it, but I like the remake more than this, actually. And, you know, I don't know, something about it just wasn't the best. And that's going to be a common thing with this, actually, his entire filmography for me. Because, I like John Carpenter, I like most of his movies, but they're not the best movies.
Well, I think Assault on Precinct 13 is actually a classic, and I think this version is actually better than the remake. Although, I do like the remake, but this version is better and also darker. When that kid gets killed by the ice cream truck guy, like on their way to the actual precinct, it's crazy. Like, that's pretty dark, especially for 1976. But it's still got that Carpenter score, that down and gritty, dirty kind of feel.
But I'm just saying, if you put them both in front of me and said which one you want to watch, I'm going to pick the remake 9 out of 10 times.
Well, we're going to disagree on that. One movie, his next movie is 1978's Halloween, which we have a Scream Factory release and a 4K release from Lionsgate. We did a whole review on Halloween.
In my opinion, his best work.
It's up there. It's in his top 3 for sure. I love Halloween very much, and I love John Carpenter's Halloween. Him and Deborah Hill just knocked it out of the park right out of the gate with this one. You know, it's a classic for a reason. Can't skip a Halloween season without watching it at least once. We've gotten a lot of great physical releases from it.
Yeah, I have Halloween so many times. I have both of those versions. I have older Blu-rays, the older box set. It's just...
Yeah, no, it's a lot.
Timeless classic.
So we'll skim past that since we've talked about it before. And then after Halloween, we get into 1980. We get Deborah Hill and John Carpenter back, Jamie Lee Curtis, Tom Atkins with The Fog.
Now, on paper, this should be a fantastic movie.
It should be a fantastic movie, but I think we both fall in line in the sense we think it's just all right.
It just doesn't hit, you know?
No.
It's a tough one.
It is a tough one. And John Carpenter did say that when he first saw the first cut of this film, he knew he made a bad movie. So they actually went back and reshot a lot of stuff, added some scenes. And I think you can actually see when you watch the movie where they added scenes because a lot of it's done on a soundstage. And I think those are actually the weakest looking on this 4K. It just for some reason looks oddly lit in some scenes, but other than that, it's also a beautiful looking 4K if you don't have it.
Yeah, I have the Scream Factory Blu-ray. And
Which is this?
Oh, that's the Scream Factory Blu-ray Steelbook?
Yep.
Oh, it is? Okay. I have the regular Scream Factory Blu-ray. And it's not a bad-looking Blu-ray. And I rewatched it this season, like right after the 4K came out, because I was like, I want to see if I like the movie enough to upgrade to the 4K. And I still just have the Blu-ray because I didn't think it was worth to upgrade to that 4K. Maybe when it goes on sale one day, but again, you know, not my favorite Carpenter movie.
No, it's not. And, you know,
you know what it is? I just love Halloween so much, and it's just really hard to top that.
I get that, and The Fog, though, had a great premise. It didn't feel like it lived up to the premise that they said. Like, we only really see the ghosts, I think, in like 2 or 3 scenes, and I guess maybe that's a budget thing, or just trying to make them look good, but when they are on screen, that score is amazing.
Yes.
The fog looks great, especially on the 4K. I know you haven't seen it, but it really does pop off the screen. So, it has some good, it's just, you know what, I think the best way to describe it, just good, not great, run-of-the-mill, average.
Worth a watch.
Definitely. And then in 1981, we get one of the big boys and one of my personal favorites, Escape from New York, starring Kurt Russell. Who else is in this? You get Isaac Hayes in this. You get
Hello, children.
Yes. Drives around in one of my favorite cars ever. You get Harry Dean Stanton in this. This is just a great movie. Donald Pleasance is back again as the president of the United States.
Yep.
You know, I love movies where they create a whole different world. You know, Manhattan Island gets turned into a prison. It just looks so cool. And they actually didn't shoot this in Manhattan. They shot this actually in Chicago in like a bunch of abandoned buildings because they thought, hey, that's what the future's going to look like. Get used to these abandoned buildings, and that's the city that they're rolling around in.
Yeah, I like that. I like the whole vibe of that movie. I have to revisit that. I haven't watched that in a very long time.
No, it's still really good. I
still haven't seen Escape from LA.
Oh, well, we'll get to that. But Escape from New York is better than Escape from LA. And this 4K is a really good 4K. Studio Canal did the transfer of this, but Scream Factory released it here in the United States. But everywhere else, Studio Canal did the release. But
I have the Scream Factory Blu-ray.
Which is...
No, that's MGM.
That's just the regular standard, right?
That's MGM, yeah.
Yep. So yeah, I have the Studio Canal MGM 4K from Scream Factory, but again, Scream Factory didn't do the scan. This was Studio Canal scan. And then after that, in 1982, we get my favorite John Carpenter movie of all time, and that is The Thing, which I am gearing up to watch pretty soon. It was in my Halloween rotation, but Matt convinced me to take it out and put it into the winter horror rotation.
Where it belongs.
It's probably where it belongs. I mean, this movie takes place in Antarctica. It's a little cold there, so everyone's wearing winter coats and everything like that. And what happens when an alien somehow, you know, a Norwegian team thaws it out, and, you know, he's pretty pissed off. It's been like, what, like 10,000 years?
Right.
And he could take the shape of anything, dog, human, whatever. It just finds a way, it just survives. It just needs a little bit to survive.
Right, yes. Again, now I just got this 4K as well.
You just got this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, a couple months ago from Groove when it was on sale. And I'm excited to revisit that because I've seen it a few times, and again, it's just not my favorite.
So one thing with John Carpenter releases his 4Ks or whatever, like, it's weird how the rights are in just so many different studios' hands. John Carpenter has a lot of his films released on 4K, and like we just talked about Escape from New York, that has a Scream Factory release. Halloween has a Scream and Lionsgate, and this is Universal.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Well, I guess they're the people who bought the movie. I don't know how it works. But I'm just glad we have it on 4K.
Yeah, and it's a good 4K. It's not the greatest 4K. I think if Scream Factory or Arrow would have got a hold of that, it'd be a little better, but it's still good. But one 4K I really like, Christine.
Now, this is my second favorite Carpenter movie.
This is your second favorite?
That's number 2, behind Halloween, yep.
Now, this is a good one.
That's a good 4K.
It is a good 4K. And you have the Steelbook.
I do have the Steelbook, yeah.
Which I'm really jealous of. I wanted that Steelbook when I bought this, but as you can see, I bought it a little late. No slipcover, no Steelbook. Just regular packaging, and this tells the story of Christine, a car. I don't remember exactly what car it is. It's like a Plymouth.
It's like a 57 Chevy or something like that.
Something like that, but you know, it was a very ahead of its time film as far as even effects go. The car, you know, healing itself that's incredible.
Yeah.
You know, they did.
I think they shot that in reverse.
They did.
Right?
They damaged it, and as they damaged it, they would shoot it, and then they play it back, and then it looks like it's healing itself. But
that's a great movie. I love Christine.
Christine is an awesome movie.
Yeah.
It just the character art for the guy starts out as a nerdy guy, but like the car influences him. He starts to become just an asshole, really.
Cool guy.
Cool. I guess he's a cool guy. I would say he's a dick, but you know, but we go either way on that. But either way, Christine, it's a great movie, and yeah, again, great 4K. Who did this 4K? It's Columbia Pictures with Sony.
It is Sony, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why
it's a good 4K.
Yeah, that explains it. That opening scene with the score when they're putting the car together, it looks beautiful in the factory.
That red fucking pops right off the screen.
Oh, yeah. You have
Big
to
time.
see Christine. You have to see Christine.
Look up. Company's coming. John Carpenter's Starman.
But yeah, Starman, great room movie. I can totally recommend that. But after that, we get 1986's Big Trouble in Little China, starring Kurt Russell. And I think me and you feel the same way about this movie, which is a little bit cooler on it than most people.
Yeah, that's another bit of a disappointment for me.
I was a little disappointed by this one too, but people love Big Trouble.
I think I've told this story before. As a kid, the tenants upstairs, they were probably the age we are now. They were probably in their mid-20s to early 30s, and I was a 16-year-old boy, and I was very impressionable, I guess, so I thought it was very cool and adult to have a DVD collection, and I remembered specifically they had like I think the collector's edition was like, remember like the Jay and Silent Bob? It was like a double, or it was a big thick DVD case they had of this. I just remember that one always stood out, and I think I might have watched it with them one time or whatever. And you know, it's just, you think Kurt Russell, John Carpenter, again, doesn't hit.
No, it doesn't hit for me either. It's funny. I like that Kurt Russell always seems to like get lucky to the point where everything seems to work out for him in the end, even though he really doesn't do too much.
But I think the problem for me was the sci-fi element.
The sci-fi element, I actually liked that, and I wish they would have actually leaned more in. It just felt like a mishmash of a bunch of different kinds of like stories and films. That was kind of what didn't work out for me. I do love that as an X-Files fan, Deep Throat's right in the beginning of this movie.
Yes.
That always stuck out to me.
He's not actually Deep Throating in it though, right?
No, although he does wear almost exactly the same suit, which is weird.
And plays almost the same character.
Pretty much, yeah, he's just handing out info.
Now, is that the Scream Factory Blu-ray? Or
no, this is just a regular. I remember I bought this for $5 at Best Buy.
Yeah, I think I have the same one.
Well, you have the slipcover though, but I don't have the slipcover on it.
Maybe I do. I don't remember.
I think you have those. They had those like special edition. My Terminator has that like slipcover on it. And I got this, but it didn't have a slipcover. But I got it for cheap. But yeah, I wish I would have had that Scream Factory release. I could have got it for half price, but that's fine.
It's probably coming to 4K.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the next Carpenter 4K we get.
Because most Carpenter movies are on 4K. We've actually been very lucky that John Carpenter films have actually made the transfer to 4K. You know, he's got a lot. We're just getting Tarantino on 4K. And Carpenter has a ton on 4K. It's really cool. And speaking of which, next up is 1987's Prince of Darkness.
I actually have that 4K, and it just slips through the cracks every year.
I don't know how. This is actually
I'm worried about it. I'm worried that I'm not going to like it.
No, you are going to like this one.
But you tell me that sometimes, and I don't like it.
Great score. This is also a really nice looking 4K because there's a lot of like lime green in this, and it really just pops off the screen. And this is another one that's almost telling like an apocalypse type story. It actually features some actors that you've seen throughout many John Carpenter movies. So it does feature Donald Pleasance in it, and it's just a good movie. It really takes place at one location for most of the movie, but it really does build that fear, and also features a cameo by Alice Cooper, who we really like here on the channel. Yeah, plays almost like one of the guys kind of trying to break into this place, and it's really cool. They basically dressed him up like a bum, and you don't even realize it's Alice Cooper, but it is Alice Cooper.
I love Alice Cooper.
Yeah, and you'll like him in this. I'm telling you, Prince of Darkness. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Grab this 4K from Scream Factory. It's really an underrated film and an underrated 4K. And then 1 year later, we get another Scream Factory 4K, and it features our boy here, Rowdy Piper, the Maniac, in They Live. You don't like They Live?
Nah. Nope.
How do you not like They Live?
I didn't like it.
You didn't like the fight scene with him and Keith David when they fight?
I mean, that was funny, but you know, I just watched that recently. I watched that within the last month or two, or maybe I watched it before the Halloween season. I don't remember, but you know, I was very excited for it. Because I have that 4K. I watched it. I was like, you know what, this
just didn't work for you, huh?
No, again, this is my problem with Carpenter. I feel like I'm saying this with every movie, that I'm just not really into it.
That's crazy. Maybe you just don't like his tone all throughout. I mean, I get like,
but
I feel like
Halloween is amazing. Halloween's in my top 5 movies of all time.
That's crazy. Actually, Halloween, I would honestly put a lot of these movies above Halloween as far as like me liking them.
That's crazy.
But like Halloween is so historically significant in its influence, I can't let it drop below 2. Just because of its, you know, what it's done for movies in general. But like, I like They Live more than I like Halloween.
That's wild.
I love They Live. I love the social commentary on it about how, like, you know, we're all just obeying, and you know, they're trying to say, and then they do their own twist on it with the aliens. The aliens' makeup is awesome. The way the glasses go on with the black and white. It's a well-made sci-fi film. And, you know, Keith David. And,
didn't work for me.
I get that. And Roddy Piper is great. And also, if you're a fan of the game, what is it, Dune? Like the kick ass and chew bubblegum. That was stolen right out of
Duke Nukem?
Duke Nukem. What did I say, Dune?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I said Dune. Yeah, Duke Nukem.
There's not even a game called Dune.
I know. I just got stuck on D, and, you know, that's...
Doom, maybe.
Yeah,
but
no.
Duke Nukem is where it came from.
I combined Duke and Nukem and I made Dune.
Yeah, makes sense.
I don't know why, but yeah, he stole the line completely from this film because Roddy Piper was kicking ass and chewing bubblegum, and he was all out of gum way before Duke Nukem was, because I believe that was 96 and this is 88.
I'm going to say they stole it from Duke Nukem because it's the better property.
Yeah, no, that's not true. Duke Nukem Forever took like, what, 9 years? 10 years
Well,
to
we're
come
not
out?
going to talk about Duke Nukem Forever. We're going to talk about the original. And I'll even say like the ones up to the Nintendo 64 era were good games. All the PS1 ones.
Oh, they're fun.
Land of the Babes.
Yeah, they're fun. They're Doom. Speaking of Doom, they're Doom ripoff games, just with a lot more, comedy.
Yes.
So then, after They Live, he had a film starring Chevy Chase come out that I've never seen because I've heard it's his worst film, and that is Memoirs of an Invisible Man. Have you seen that? Yeah, that's a John Carpenter.
Chevy Chase is in a John Carpenter movie?
He sure is. He's in this one, and it's not a good one. I haven't seen it though. Actually, let me be clear. Actually, I've heard it's bad because I haven't seen it, so there's no way for me to know for sure if it's bad or good.
I think Scream Factory has a release of that.
I have, because I got to fill out his collection. Most of these are mine, and then there's a few in here that are Matt's, because I don't have all of his.
And I have a lot of these as well.
Yeah.
It's just John's pile. But actually, I think they do have a Scream Factory release of that, because I was on there today ordering Silent Night, Deadly Night 2.
Yeah, because the Scream Factory, as of this recording, some of their stuff is on sale on Amazon. It's weird. Not everything.
It's not that it wasn't on sale, but I had that in my cart on Amazon, and it's gone. They don't know when it's going to come back into stock. It's sold out on Best Buy, or Best Buy doesn't even have it. And then I looked on eBay, and they were selling for like almost $50. So I panicked, and they had some in stock on Scream Factory, so I ordered it. Because I have part 1 from Scream Factory, and then we have that Vestron video
4,
3, 4, and 5. So I'm not gonna not have part 2.
Part 2 is like considered the worst, but also the best. So I don't know.
I never saw it.
Oh, okay.
I only saw the original.
Well, you're gonna love it, from what I understand, at least. It's a lot of fun. And then, after, like I said, after Memoirs of an Invisible Man, we got In the Mouth of Madness, which is overall out of his most underrated films. This is his most underrated film. Matt would say this is Dr. Grant from Jurassic Park, but it's Sam Neill. Came out actually, I believe it's the same year, 1993, as Jurassic Park.
The Dinosaur Man.
He's working for a writing company. He has to find the writer of this book. He's like a private detective almost. He has to find the guy who's writing this book. He's a huge popular writer. Everyone loves him. But it seems like anyone who reads his most recent book, they start to go crazy. And that's basically what happens in this. Sam Neill falls into this world that the writer is creating. He finds the writer, and it's just a complete mystery, thriller, horror from there. Like, if you haven't seen this, I don't want to spoil this movie because I really do think that this unwinds in a really cool way. And I kind of had this spoiled for me before I saw it, and I don't want to do that to anyone else because I do think this is a really interesting, fun movie, and you still haven't seen it.
Nope, I have it, but I haven't seen it.
Yep. Well, you're a piece of shit. And then after that is the remake from 1995, The Village of the Damned. I haven't seen this either. I've only seen the original Village of the Damned in black and white. Have you seen that? You've probably seen the blonde girls with those crazy eyes. I don't know, maybe in like some kind of like images. Maybe. I think you've definitely seen that. And then after that, we get 1996's Escape from L.A., which is the sequel to Escape from New York. And I really like this movie. It is much cheesier than the original one. The CGI is atrocious, almost on purpose, but I like this movie. You get great Steve Buscemi in it, you get Kurt Russell back.
Now, is that the one that had an issue? Wasn't there an issue?
This did have an issue, and this is Paramount who did this one. And I do remember there being some issue, but I don't remember. People had complaints about this, and I had no issue, so when I went back, I can't remember what the issue was exactly right now at the top of my head, but there were complaints about this one.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was either, and I think there was a recall on it.
There was, and I didn't do it because mine was fine.
Gotcha.
I had no issues, so there was no reason for me. I don't remember what it was, but I remember when it came out, people had timestamps of trying to find out what it was. And I checked. I had no issue, at least nothing that I could find.
Yeah, I have Escape from New York and LA from Scream Factory, but I have the Blu-rays. I don't have either on 4K.
Yeah, so like I said, the first Escape from New York is done by Studio Canal and Scream Factory. This is a Paramount release, and he's got Universal releases on 4K. He had Sony releases, Scream Factory. So all his films, a lot of them have come to 4K, but just a ton of different studios have worked with him, and I don't know why. But, he's always kind of had trouble getting funding for his movies. I don't know why.
Really?
He's never been the most mainstream director. And, this isn't a mainstream film. It looks like it, but I think it was almost like a satire of mainstream films and, action blockbusters of the time. This came out the same year as Independence Day. So, I don't know. That's my biggest guess on it. But I love Escape from LA. Just as much. Not as much as Escape from New York, but the tone of it works for me. check it out if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I gotta check that one out.
And now we're going to go into two movies that I don't particularly like and I also don't own, and that is Vampires, which I know you just said you didn't
Just
really...
watched it for the first time and woof.
Yeah, I'm not a big
Yeah.
fan of this either, actually. James Woods is in this. Actually, he works in this movie, not going to lie, but it's not one of my favorites either. Actually,
No.
I find it to be a little boring.
Yeah, I didn't like it really either.
No, and you know, a lot of people do like this one. So, and this is a Scream Factory release. So
It is, yes.
So if you are a fan, I can definitely recommend grabbing it. I could have put that over by Matt.
Yeah, if you're a fan, again, Scream Factory, they put out some great Blu-rays, but it's just the property itself, not a fan of. The Blu-ray itself, sure, it's great, you know. We got the nice artwork on the inside.
Reversible slipcover.
Well, all the Scream Factory Blu-rays do that.
Well, recently they've been getting a little lazy. If you want.
4Ks, maybe not.
Yeah.
It's Blu-rays, yes.
Because like Rollerball 4K had the most bare bones package with no reversible.
Well, the Blu-rays are the clear cases, so all of them do have.
Well, it also, I one thing I want to note. I don't know if it's maybe just because this isn't Scream Factory. This is just that's Ghosts of Mars.
This is Mill Creek. So
Yeah.
this is like a cheap. Mill Creek, they do cheap Blu-rays.
And that is considered one of their worst anyway. John Carpenter's one of his worst.
Ghost of Mars, I like this better than Vampires.
I like the score. That I don't like.
I like Ice Cube in movies.
I know you like
actually.
Ice Cube.
I think Ice Cube.
You're probably a big Anaconda guy, aren't you?
I love Anaconda. Anaconda's great. Him and J-Lo.
Yeah.
That's a great movie. That's better than half of the stuff in this pile.
That's crazy. But I'm glad you like Ghosts of Mars.
Yeah, so I guess upon revisiting the Carpenter stuff here, I think there's like 3 movies I like in his filmography.
He has
That's
one
about-
more film that he
that's
came
about
out
it.
with 2010. Have you seen this? I haven't.
Ward?
The
No.
Ward. No.
Have not.
And he's got a couple TV movies in there. He did the Elvis TV movie with Kurt Russell.
Russell, yeah.
I haven't seen that. I mean, no, I'm sorry. I have seen that. I haven't seen that in a long time, but I can't imagine it being as good as the Elvis film that came out this year with Austin Butler. But Kurt Russell's Kurt Russell. He's awesome. And he's got a couple other ones, and then he's in and he directs a part in Body Bags, which is an anthology film that you like.
Which I have, yeah. Wes Craven makes an appearance in that movie.
Yeah,
also,
so that's an anthology film. It's not just his.
Him and Toby Hooper.
Yes, so Toby Hooper. So they got a lot of horror legends for that movie. My God, Wes Craven, Toby Hooper, and John Carpenter. Did they get George A. Romero too? That'd be cool.
I don't know. He might have made like a quick appearance. There was one where a young woman was working at a gas station, and Wes Craven comes up as a customer just to get some gas in his car.
No, it's just the 3 of them: John Carpenter, Toby Hooper, and Wes Craven. They were the guys who made that. Although I did just read, I haven't checked this out yet, that Stacy Keach is in there, who I'll always know as the warden from freaking Prison Break.
Oh, the older guy.
Yeah, with the mustache.
Yeah.
Love him. So John Carpenter, he's one of our favorite directors. I guess I like him more than Matt, is what I've just figured out, which is a
big
surprise.
time.
Yeah, I love John Carpenter.
I do too, but again, upon watching his movies, I'm like, you know what? Maybe not.
So maybe that's like he's got that certain tone that I feel like carries throughout all his movies. So maybe you just aren't like, and I get it. I guess you know
Halloween carries him
a lot.
for me.
Yeah, I see that.
That holds a lot of weight for me. So that I love Christine, and then for 3rd place.
Wow, you can't get a top 3. That is crazy.
I guess probably one of the escape movies.
Escape from New York, because then you have never seen LA.
Yeah, I guess that would probably be.
I
my
can't even
3rd.
give you a top 3. If I was gonna give you
maybe The Thing would be my 3rd.
if I was gonna give you a top 5, I'll give you guys my top 5. I would go probably the Thing, Halloween, They Live at number 3. No, I'm sorry, Escape from New York at number 3, They Live at number 4, and then I'm gonna put Starman at number 5. I really like Starman. That's a great movie. I definitely think you should check that out. But I'm sorry that
Very interesting. Yeah, it's just something about the movies. They just don't hit for me for something like I don't know if it's because I'm just wanting more stuff like Halloween, but I don't know. I just can't get into them for some reason.
All right, well, that's our recommendations and our John Carpenter deep dive. Hopefully you guys grab some of these 4Ks, Blu-rays. He's got almost all of his films on 4K, and almost all of them are good Blu-rays. So definitely check that out. If you haven't yet, we can definitely recommend that highly. And one thing that really helps out the channel is by you guys liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and then telling all your friends.